I have
Mark
2
was
hours
gonna
for
be the
dinner.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December meeting for the Greencastle Common Council. If you would please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good evening and welcome to our December Common Council meeting. Linda, will you call the roll, please?
Counselor Adam Cohen. Counselor Stacy Langdon.
Here.
Counselor Steve Fields.
Here.
Counselor Tyler Wade. Counselor Mark Hammer.
Here.
Counselor Gary Lemon. Counselor Dave Murray.
Here.
I'd just like to add that Adam is at the OL meeting tonight, and this is a transition meeting between the not-for-profit and then switching it over to the county, so he's keeping an eye on our city interests at the meeting this evening.
Good.
Do we have any public petitions or comments or special requests? We did not receive any prior to the meeting. Okay. Next, we have department reports, and I'd like to express some appreciation. Our folks are always on duty doing a good job, but we had a couple of special things happen this month. Our fire department helped out with putting up the Christmas lights and decorations downtown. Police department is involved in the Santa drop with the Fraternal Order of Police, along with some of our other public safety forces from across the county. And then I think we finally got everybody's leaves. Right, Brad? We did extend leaf pickup an extra week after the wind and kind of terrible weather, so I think we've got all that. So if any department head would like to come forward, I know Rod will come forward and do a little marketing on behalf of the Parks Department.
Good evening, everybody. I dropped my copy of my report on your desk for your use. What I'd like to do, though, is start off with a great big thank you to the Public Works Department for helping us light that pine tree in Roban Park. The tree looks really, really nice, and I've still got people complimenting on how well the lights look. In my report, let's start off with the Greencastle Aquatic Center. Energy Conservation Solutions has been in and started the interior work on that. The pictures, well, they really, I wish they'd have come out brighter, but what you can see is there's going to be some big changes. We glossed white to the walls and ceiling. We picked one wall, which is the one that holds the sinks, and made that an accent color. It's like Caribbean blue, so I think it's really going to brighten up the place. And then
Is the blue brighter than that?
the blue is brighter than that. Yes, it is. So, yep. And then, of course, the floor we're going to redo, similar to what was done at the example I have is at 3 Fat Labs, but the floor I actually would refer to as the 4-H hall in Franklin on their fairgrounds is where I saw that. And then, but it's going to look sharp, I think, once it is all done and put together. I've also included a preliminary workup of the water slides that are proposed for this next summer, and hopefully that all comes together. But we are looking at using some let's see, you got primary colors, and then you got secondary colors on the color wheel, and that's the scheme that we're looking at, alternating with a white interior. But I think between all that, it's going to add a lot of color to the facility. We want something eye-catching that'll keep people here in town instead of having them leave for their recreational activities. Okay, and then we've got some Mickey Mouse cutouts that we did for Mickey's birthday, but we're going to add them to our holiday decorations in Roban Park with a little sprucing up and that. But question that did come up, the bulletin boards that we've ordered, with the recognition plaque are going to be put on the side of the band shelter by Spiker Excavating. We've also are going to post a bulletin board there so that we can put, like shelter rentals. This has been rented, or the Park Fest concert in the summertime, or other activities, and use that kind of as a central location for announcements. We did find another smaller one that we will post so that we're not stapling every weekend. We put staples into the upright posts. We're going to get away from that, and that way we got something to put them in. But otherwise, our we have programs in your packet. We talk about the youth basketball in My First Shot. We have over 187 people this year, which is up from 170 last year. We have, the problem
Registration
is,
still open?
Registrate, yeah, we'll take kids right up until January 1st. So
Okay.
the first practice in January is scheduled for January 4th, and we'll take them up till then. We've got 28 teams this year with the grade breakdowns that we have, and I'm looking for extra sponsors. Last year we had 20, I've got 28. So if you knew of anybody, I put a sponsorship slip in your packet so that maybe you can send them our way. We had our gingerbread house contest and our Brick Mania Lego Santa sled contest this past week, and we were lucky things were on display from here till about Tuesday. But I've thrown some pictures in there. We had our seasonal pie baking contest. J.L. Thomas and Aaron Pash held through the Bonner Scholar program on DePaul campus, held a fundraiser for our youth basketball program. The funds they brought in will be put towards scholarships. But we had 3 categories: the fruit pie, the sweet potato pie, and key lime pie. And I threw in a picture of the guy who won the second place in the key lime division, okay? Comments were,
Fixed.
yeah, comments at first glance.
If it was fixed,
wasn't-
he would have been
That's
first.
a good point, yeah.
At first
How many pies
glance.
were in there?
What,
2?
pies?
How many pies were in the key lime category? Just
Okay,
asking.
yes, I won second place, okay, but there were 4 pies in that
Okay,
division,
all right.
okay? And actually,
first?
yeah, you don't remember, so,
It wasn't Krista.
sorry.
Because we don't have a picture of first,
No,
a picture of
no,
second.
sorry, yes, but no, I had to brag a little bit. It was my first pie I've
I want you all
ever
to know, he
baked.
got abused at the park board meeting as
Oh,
well.
yeah, that's fine. 56 years old, I've never baked a pie before, okay, so, yes,
Rod, you are shameless, I can see that.
Well, if you look, it's really, I over browned the meringue that was on top. But so like I said, the judges at first glance said it wasn't pretty, but when they sliced it and held its form, it didn't run into the hole like my first one. My first one turned to soup, and they said it was really, I mean, literally turned to soup. Yeah. It was nice and set up on the counter, but when I put it in the refrigerator and opened up the next morning just to look at it, it was soup. So.
Rod, keep your day job.
Yeah, that's right. But it was fun. And, you know, and my Bonner Scholars challenged me to do it. I did it, and yeah, so that's the result. So. But anyway, and then Breakfast with the Grinch is this Saturday, December 14th. We're going to hold that at the Putnam Inn from 9 to 11. And I apologize, but we are sold out. 3rd year in a row, okay? And then this is about the time that I put in our annual call for used Lego building blocks, or any of the other building blocks as well. We do have a Brick Mania Lego Birthday Bash coming up the last Sunday in January on the 26th. We will be at the Putnam County Museum. It will be a food fundraiser for the Putnam County Emergency Food Pantry. We ask everybody who wants to come in to bring a non-perishable food item to be given to the food pantry. And this year we've got sponsors to include, again, Putnam County Museum, the DePaul University Bonner Scholar Program, Indy Lug, which is the Indiana Lego User Group. We got Brick World Indianapolis as one of our sponsors, HWC Engineering, Humphreys Outdoor Power, Wasser Brewing Company. We have, this year, we've added to our list of sponsors West Central Veterinarian Clinic. And I want to thank everybody for that. But at the same time, sitting in the room, we have one of our local Lego fans, who's I'm hoping will again display some of her son's collections. So yes, okay. But anyway, so that's again the last Sunday in January, and it's free or for a donation of food for the food pantry. Okay, so we got a busy time coming up already, and throw in the holidays and everything, but busy time. So things are happening. That's good. I did take a tour today of a gentleman for HWC Engineering who was looking at the electrical panels, and we walked the deck just to scope out the areas that the new water slides would be constructed in. So that's happening too. Exciting. All right. Anybody have any questions or comments?
We're just, and I know it's not gonna happen now till spring, but just a quick, what's going on with the tennis courts and
Pickleball.
pickleball?
Tennis and pickleball courts are, as you stated, they're on hold until next spring. The base is set, and then what we'll do next spring when it warms up is they'll put the asphalt down, and then we'll let that set a month and a half, I believe, 30 to 40 days, and then they'll top coat it, and hopefully we'll have the courts by July 4th.
Okay.
Okay? And then
As it turned out, I mean, it didn't rain for months, and then it rained every, second or third day.
Yeah.
That's
Just
right,
enough
yeah.
that it, yeah, this is,
Every-
this is starting to dry out.
But,
I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as we sign the contract, every single third day.
Yes.
You know, it just,
but that's
there were
not,
maybe 2 or 3 days in that whole 2-month period that we had that they could have even possibly
it held,
done.
it held up laying the asphalt. But looking at all as much of the gravel that they had to put in and get it smooth, it needed some rain. It still needs a lot more rain, so hopefully this winter it'll help settle it and fill in all the cracks and grooves in there.
One more thing, and I just thought of this when
Yeah.
you said the rain. Snowman contest. Because we had the one snow where I actually
Correct.
saw some snowmen
Yeah.
being built, and I thought you really hadn't had a chance to get the
Really,
word out at that
We
point.
really haven't had chance to put the word out, but we will. We usually do the snowman contest is through the months of December, January, and February, and I
Get
believe
snow in November.
we award it in March, yeah. So that was a little early for us, but we are still having that contest, so if we do happen to get snow, measurable snow, and you can make a snowman, take a photo of it, send it to the Park and Recreation Department's website, and we will enter it into our contest. Because that's all it takes. Entry form, name, title of the event, the thing, and then a picture, a photo of the creation. We'll do it, okay? Now, before I go, Steve, I want to thank you for serving on the Park Board for the number of years that you have done it. Your presence is always greatly appreciated. You attended most of the meetings, and you were very help in our conversations and what went on in our department.
I'm just sorry I wasn't able to participate more these last few months.
That's fine, and that's understandable. But again, I want to thank you. All right. Thank you for your service.
Been a huge advocate.
Thank you. Steve, you will be missed. Okay, all right. I'm done. Anybody have any other questions?
Just a comment, and
Yeah.
I've talked with Bill about this. There's a lot of water that runs off the hill behind those tennis courts to the west side of it.
Yes.
And I don't want to have us put in something and not deal with the engineering or whatever is required to take that runoff away from the courts.
Okay. And I think we do need to run it towards the parking lot, and we have talked to our engineer about it.
Yeah, we've alerted the engineer about that, yeah.
Terrific.
And if we can do, the area directly behind is not ours, but I think it does need some monitoring besides just the weather. So, okay, all right. We'll talk to you guys later. All right, thank you. And Merry Christmas. Lionel.
Merry Christmas.
Any other department heads want to come up and say a few words?
I'd like, Oscar's not here, I don't
Yeah.
think, but I'd like to publicly thank him. 4 of us went and took a tour of the wastewater plant, and it was quite impressive. It's a slick operation. He has a great team out there, and I would encourage anyone who gets the opportunity to learn more about everything that's going on. And I don't know if you have any more comments, but
I mean,
it was,
you'll come away from it going, wow, I did not expect this at all. I mean, it is high tech and high science and.
everything's computerized.
Computerized, and it's not what you're gonna go in with a preconceived notion maybe of what a sewage treatment plant might be, wastewater treatment plant, but it's not anything like what you might think. So it was very good, and I really appreciate it. And
Yeah,
Mayor, I
from time to
appreciate you
time, we
showing up.
host school groups and groups from DePaul out there as well. They come out, the chemistry classes come out either to the water plant or to the wastewater plant and look around as well.
It was good.
Okay, does a member of council have any questions for any of the department heads? Okay, hearing none, ladies and gentlemen, you're free to go home and enjoy the rest of the evening with your family. You're welcome to stay as always. So thank you very much. Next, we have reports. Few things. Locust Street, we're waiting for Spiker to come in and complete the paving. We did receive word from DePaul that they are done with all of their below-grade work, so Spiker's working on their effort to get that done. We've made it clear to them that they cannot leave that closed up much longer, so hopefully the weather will cooperate and we can get some things done there. We do appreciate the patience in general around all of the campus construction activities. College Street has been reopened as one way. The bond issue has been closed, so the money is in place to take care of some of the projects that Rod has mentioned. And he also noted the bathhouse work underway. Let's see here, what else, real quick. The IBM lift station work is complete. If anybody's been out by the new apartment complex, they've got a couple buildings under construction and working on several others. And Jared Grable has started work on the second phase of Whispering Winds. And unfortunately, the developer that was looking at Jones School, they were one of 7 developers from across the country, along with Comprehensive Services. Unfortunately, that their proposal was not funded, but in talking to the developer, they're still holding out hope that they may be able to apply for another funding round for a similar kind of project. So we'll remain in contact with them, and hopefully they can continue to move forward. So that's wayfinding. We received the shop drawings on the signage, so we're starting to review those. And then now that we have our general department's budgets done, we're working on the water and wastewater budgets. Had a good productive meeting this afternoon on the water budget, including outlining about 5 years worth of projects that need attention around town, including painting the standpipe, hopefully working towards getting a larger generator at the plant, and then a whole laundry list of other things that the department would like to accomplish over the next several years. So we'll be fine tuning that and then presenting that to the Board of Works here shortly. That's all I have. Be glad to answer any questions.
YMCA, I saw Dennis Weatherford at an Ivy Tech Advisory Board meeting the other day, and for the first time, he said, I was really excited about the conversations that are going on with the Y. It's taken a long time, but I'm really happy. Can you comment any further on that?
We thought we'd have the lease back maybe this week or early next week from Ice Miller for the Y. We have met with a firm that provides construction management services to kind of explain the process and outline how that process works. So we're looking at using a construction manager just because of the nature of the project and the complexity. And then there's also a group that's been meeting to work on the initial fundraising, getting the list of people together for that, the potential candidates for requests for that to move forward as well.
So we're looking maybe, hopefully, at a spring.
That's what we're shooting for.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for.
Spring,
Spring of this coming year.
Spring of 2020?
Or 21.
21.
No, 20,
21?
20,
20?
yeah.
5 months, 4 months?
Groundbreaking.
Well, once again, I hope,
Yeah, late in 2020, yeah.
in spring?
Well, depends on what the weather is and things, but spring or summer, yeah.
Okay.
how far are we from having a draft contract, in your opinion? We talked about November, but RDC and the council need to
Yeah,
obviously
we'll get,
read
as soon as
that.
we get it from Ice Miller, we'll distribute it.
Okay.
Yeah, we expected it last week. She said a couple of weeks, and that was right before Thanksgiving, and
Yep.
so.
Very
any
good.
moment. And Lisa said she had it done, so, yeah. They're looking at the issue of naming rights and things like that. They're looking at that issue and how that's affected by the bonding, and if there are any limitations because of that.
It's a complicated deal.
That's what they're looking at right now. Otherwise, I think it's ready for you to look at and then for our partners to look at.
Sounds great.
Okay. Linda?
We have received our 1782, so we've received our budget. We actually got it right before Thanksgiving, believe it or not, so DLGF was quick. But we had to send some additional information because we did close on the bond on December the 6th. So that's now been all updated, so we'll have all of our bond money coming in on our property tax, so that's all been taken care of. So working on year-end stuff, been busy, so that's about it. And I want to thank Steve for his time on the,
Well, I'm gonna
City
ask you a
Council.
question, with what you got back, where we stand on our tax rate?
oh, I couldn't tell you right off the bat.
Okay, all
I
right.
know that the new bond rate is very close to what our old bond rate was,
Okay.
so I could run up and say or get it, but I don't remember right off.
Our bond rate?
I was talking about our tax rate.
The whole tax rate.
Our 1782 doesn't tell us what the other units rates are yet, so
Yeah.
there'll probably be something come out on the DLGF website in the next month or so with the total tax rates for everybody.
That'll be published in the banner with the little bit
Yeah,
of
they'll
typo.
do, yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
pretty tight. But we did get all of our max levy, except for a few $100s in rounding, but yeah, we
Was
collected
there
all
much,
of it.
was there much having to be shuffled with cemetery park and general fund?
No,
Okay, good.
we may have to do a slight additional appropriation later in the year, but we'll see how that goes,
Okay.
so.
Last night, the Greencastle League of Women Voters and Chamber of Commerce hosted a community conversation on poverty. It was a wonderful program. I was so encouraged. Every seat was taken, and we had people standing in the back. So obviously, this is something that our community wants to get behind, and they realize the seriousness and the problems that we have. And it was wonderful discussion, and it's my hope that in 2020 that the city and Putnam County really focuses on the issues at hand. And I was encouraged. I thought it was a very positive meeting, a lot of good input, and we can't stop here. We have to continue to talk, and we have to come up with an action plan. But this was put out by the League of Women Voters. We want to thank our panelists for last night's community conversation on poverty. Adam Cohen, Lori Miller, Heather Weaver, Alicia Schammel, Travis Lineweber, and Kathy Asbell. We also want to thank Mayor Bill Dorey for opening up City Hall for this very important dialogue. There was great discussion, and we're hopeful that this conversation will continue. If you are interested in learning more about the programs that are in place and the conversation as far as how to improve those down the road, you can send an email to transformers@gobinumc.org, or you can reach out here to City Hall, and we'll put you in contact and tell you how you can hopefully help. Other thing, it's been a privilege, Steve, to sit next to you and to serve with you. One thing I love about Steve, he does not sugarcoat things. He tells it like it is. He doesn't tiptoe around issues, and that's my kind of person. So you will definitely be missed. And Gary's not here tonight, but his economics background, his perspective, his sense of humor have been so valuable to us the last 4 years. It's going to be a different council going forward, but it's been great being a part of this team. Thank you.
I'm going to save my comments to the end of the meeting, right?
Bill, again, thank you for helping to arrange for the tour we had at the sewage plant. That was very informative, and I'm glad we got to do it, and look forward maybe to one at the water plant too. And maybe we can do the whole council and everything else, so we can, but anyway, I know we talked about that briefly the other day. I don't know, was it your idea, Brad's idea, or but the extending the leaf season for 1 year, really applaud you on that. So that was good, because there was
Mean for
a
a
lot of
week?
people, pardon me?
Week,
What did I say?
year.
A year?
The
Well,
weather, the weather during our monthly leaf pickup was
Yeah.
not exactly conducive.
Well,
for picking
yeah,
up
and I'm
leaves.
sorry, I guess I should have said something before Brad left, because it was, I know he had a challenge in there with that snow that we got, and
Yeah, yeah.
not converting over trucks and everything else and trying to plow snow with probably limited resources. and
They were
everything else.
actually picking up leaves with snow on them. to
Yes,
keep
I'm
them.
sure they were. So, anyway, I thought that was a really good idea. I'm glad you did that. So, I'm sure there's still some piles sitting in curbside that some people got out too late, but that was a very good and well-received, so appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. I'll share that with Brad.
Okay, and again, Steve, too. It's been, I'm just real happy that you've gotten served these last 4 years, and your perspective and your comments and everything is going to be missed, so.
Thank you.
As well as Gary's, too. So, and, I mean,
Gary's
Gary.
far more than mine.
You know, and I emailed Gary yesterday because he said something about well, he could be here if we needed a quorum. I said, Gary, when did you have your surgery? You just had a surgery, I think, Tuesday or something like that.
Tuesday.
And I thought, how in the world would you make it here? I said, I appreciate your commitment, but my gosh, how could you even think about being here? So,
He and Eric could help each other.
there you go.
I saw him earlier today at rehab, and he's doing just fine at this point. So
Good.
That's good.
Good.
And Steve, I want to say thank you, and I'm going to ask you a question you should not answer on camera. And that is, are you as unvarnished with your wife at home as you are with us here? Thank you, sir,
Thank you.
on all fronts.
Okay. Next item of business is the approval of minutes from the regular session of November 14th, 2019. Entertain a motion to approve those minutes as presented.
Did anybody not get one? Because I got 2 copies.
Yeah, we
We all
got
got
it.
Okay, everybody got 2 copies, all right.
Bonus copy.
I want
There's
to,
one-
I'm
if
going to
there's
make
one
a
of them has
motion
mistake,
to
just
approve
ignore it.
both sets of the minutes.
Well, and I would say there's one correction, even though I wasn't here.
Is there one correction
In
in the?
10A, at the end of the first line, I believe compressive should probably be comprehensive. Comprehensive salary study as opposed to a compressive
Probably.
salary study, so I thought, anyway, so,
I'll change that.
okay.
Good point.
Is both of them spelled wrong in both sets of
Is that a
minutes?
second? then?
Yes, yeah. I won't second because I wasn't here.
I'll
but I-
second that. I'll second.
Okay.
I will vote because it's gonna take, we need all 4 of us to vote, even though I wasn't here, I'll vote to pass it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes with that one minor correction. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or nays? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. Next item of business is the approval of city claims.
Okay, we've got some big numbers this month.
Yes, you do.
It's like, woo! We've been selling along pretty well with some small numbers, so. Anyway, the payroll is $607,615.12. Accounts payable, regular accounts payable of $106,846.20. Pensions of $13,350.47. Yeah. And direct accounts payable, there's the biggie, $1,072,263.73. For a grand total of all 4 of $1,800,075.52. So under the regular account, under the direct accounts payable, the big one, we've got workman's comp for $3,045. We've got various items with redevelopment that total $254,769.50. Included in there is where we're paying ourselves to reimburse the city for reimburse city or county. City, okay. City for IBM lift station upgrade. So I don't know why, we're paying ourselves, I guess.
Project is a utility project, and the redevelopment commission is funding that project for the benefit of the utilities and for the industrial
Go
park
back to
out
the
there.
utilities.
Okay, so that was $207,559. And then we got some Zinc Mill Road appraisals in there for $12,000. We do have some more Indianapolis Road money for Foyt's.
Boyd's.
Construction for $258,768.41. Wabash Valley Asphalt for our street contract, is that the entire amount?
I think we still owe them some retainage.
Okay, $506,208.77. And then and then our regular accounts payable of utilities and so forth and so on that we have every month for about $43,000. So that's what makes up that $1 million. Half of it is the street contract, street repaving contract. Under regular accounts payable, there's not a lot. That just totaled $106,000. Included in there, we got $10,102.44 to Energy Conservation Solutions for park improvements, which Rod was talking about earlier, along with Hannum, Wagle, and Klein for $1,285, also park improvements. We got Marcy's Tree Service for one of our first checks, because I think that was a total of almost $60,000, I believe, for $11,650 for tree removals all over town, various ones. We got I think this is probably pretty good news. The election it still costs a lot per vote, but election cost was $5,171.71, which is about half, wasn't it, of what it used to cost? So going to vote centers saved that
Saved
much.
us lots of money.
Okay, so that's good news.
Are you
in a way.
saying you bought votes, Mark? Is that Sorry, it was there. I had
I set him up, and boy, you knocked him down, didn't you?
I'm kidding.
Encode software upgrade, looks like we've got $4,570, and then we also have Encode maintenance and maintenance contracts for $8,616.88. Can this type be any smaller? And then I had one question on HBG. How do we write a negative check? It was a credit.
Yes, because, we do our workman's comp audit. And so,
They owe money to us.
they owed us money back, but then we ended up netting out a positive, so it just puts it in the right.
Okay, so we're not going to write a check for negative amount.
No, we're not
Okay.
writing a check for negative amount.
All right.
There's other departments that owed money, so
Yeah.
we ended up owing them like 3,000.
Okay, because some of it came from utilities that
Yeah,
aren't
so it
included
just
here.
all got put back in the right.
All righty, so with that last explanation, along with the other ones, I would move for approval of the claims, again totaling $1,800,075.52.
Glad to second it.
You have a motion and a second. I will make a comment on the Wabash Valley bill. That was we previously paid them about $180,000. The total contract was around a little over $700,000. I think $730,000, but the final billing on that came in under the contract amount because of quantity adjustments and things. So we
Yeah.
saved a little bit in the total project. So we have a motion and a second to approve the claims as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays or abstentions? Claims are approved. Next item of business is old business, of which we do not have any this evening. And then following that is new business. We have really just two items. Linda has indicated that she has been successful in making all of the transfers without needing a formal transfer resolution this evening. So the only two items of new business are A and B. The first one being Resolution 2019-12, a resolution authorizing acceptance of infrastructure in Whispering Winds Phase 1, and Scott's here to answer any questions. If you've driven back there, things are pretty much complete, except for a few lots that they're still working on. So I'll read the resolution. Whereas the final plat for Whispering Winds Subdivision Phase 1 was approved by the Greencastle Plan Commission on May 29th, 2016, and whereas the Plan Commission approved waiving the posting of surety for the subdivision at that time, and whereas the infrastructure has been inspected by city departments, including the city engineer, utilities superintendent, director of public works, and city planner, and whereas the infrastructure installed has passed inspections, and whereas the developer is in agreement to pay the city for infrastructure not yet installed as outlined in the attached letter, and whereas the attached letter acts as the equivalent of a maintenance bond, and whereas the Greencastle Board of Works has reviewed the information at their regular meeting on November 20th, 2019, and whereas the Board of Works recommends approval of the arrangements outlined in the attached letter, and whereas the Greencastle Subdivision Ordinance, Article 4.9, completion acceptance of improvements, B3 states that City Council shall approve a resolution accepting the improvements, and now therefore be it resolved that the Greencastle Common Council authorizes the acceptance of said infrastructure as outlined in that attached letter, passed and resolved by the Common Council of the City of Greencastle on this 12th day of December with appropriate signature lines. So, and then we put apologize for not getting the letter out to you. We did put the copy of the letter at your place there, and that'll be part of the resolution that'll be on file.
Scott, can you comment on a couple things here, since we're just seeing this?
Certainly.
I understand 3 speed limit signs. What does it mean when it says correction of drainage between lots 70 and 71 to meet requirements of stormwater pollution prevention plan?
There was still some erosion going on, and actually they have, since the date of the letter, corrected that. There's still some grass coverage that needs to happen, but they have corrected the grading.
What about removal or engineering approval of check dam behind Lot 58? I'm having trouble visualizing that.
So that was part of the infrastructure that would prevent soil from continuing on into the stormwater system. And I couldn't find it on the soil, water, or stormwater pollution prevention plan. Jared is checking with his engineer to make sure that it is in fact needed to stay there. I've gotten verbal indication from CCON that yes, it should stay there. We're just wanting to get that in writing so that that's part of the documentation.
Is that an actual dam?
Well, I'm sorry, the term check dam is simply a term to describe riprap or a larger stone that stops the flow slows down the flow of water and allows sediment to just settle.
Okay. And removal of temporary drainage brackets in stormwater inlets.
Right. In the in our city streets, or certainly in our newer subdivisions, there are coconut fiber baskets that collect sediment and straw and trash, and those get regularly cleaned out during construction. After construction, they should be removed so that they don't continue to collect that. Then it's just a matter of the city with the vac truck vacuuming out the inlets if they ever actually need it.
Okay. You have vetted all this, so thank you for those explanations. And everything that's been done out there has been done to code, correct? Okay. I move that we approve Resolution 2019-12. Is this on?
It's a resolution.
This is not an ordinance, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
a
on first reading, it's just approving it.
I had a question or more of a comment, and this is probably for you, Bill. I know our developer has attended the last two Board of Works meetings, asking us for some help as far as, I think it was tap fees that they wanted help with. And my question is, we're trying to get people to come to Greencastle to build homes. Is there anything we can do to make Greencastle more attractive, to get these folks to come in and put up developments here as opposed to the donut counties and the other places? Is it unusual? I mean, if we would waive tap fees or if we would discount them or something, is that the type of thing that's going to appeal to potential builders, or is it just doesn't make a difference?
Our tap fees are pretty modest. We actually did a quick and dirty study. We called some of our neighboring communities, and we were one of the lowest out there. And pretty much everybody that we talked to said, don't waive your tap fees, because that helps pay for, improvements in the system. We did provide, this is actually under Mayor Murray's administration, when the apartment complex came in, the lift station there at Ivy Tech, just around the corner from this housing development, was upgraded, and it was upgraded with the knowledge that there may be new residential construction other than the apartment complex coming in. And that, there was some expense investment by the city in that. Some communities would ask the developer to pay for that. So in our case, to try to encourage the apartments and as well as the future single family, the city wastewater system picked up that cost rather than ask the developers to pay it. I have talked to a couple of engineers that do a lot of work in Hendricks County that are familiar with our regulations, and they have both told me that our regulations are reasonable. What really is driving the fact that it's hard to get developers out here is the fact that it's too easy to make money in the donut counties right now. And
So if not tap fees, there really isn't any angle or anything we can do to try to encourage these builders to come to Greencastle?
we have told them that we're willing to work with them. The other thing that I think we do reasonably well, if their engineering staff gets their part of the project done, we offer approvals fairly quickly here. And time is money for a developer. So usually we can turn the approvals around in a fairly reasonable amount of time, assuming the documentation we get is complete and correct and doesn't need anything more than some minor revisions. So,
Well, it depends on what it is too. We've done infrastructure
Yeah.
improvements for sure for developments.
I just know last night at the meeting, we talked about our housing. Well, we talk about it all the time, that we don't have housing. And how do we get people to come in and want to build houses in Greencastle? And how, I mean, just seems like, are we doing everything that we should be doing in order to encourage people to
I am
come to
having
us?
regular conversations with developers, and some express more interest than others, and, you know, it just depends. I mean, right now, the market in Indianapolis is
Attractive.
pretty attractive, very active. But the other thing that some of these developers are telling me is they have a shortage of workers. You know, we don't have the skilled trade people that can build houses. And, you know, we always kind of counter that with, we've got some local contractors that would be willing to, you know, bid on projects and things like that. But you know, it's also an added expense to, you know, bring a crew an hour each way out from Indianapolis too, so. I can't really point to one thing. For example, in Jared Grable's first phase as well as the second phase, he came to us and said, can he, instead of, most developments, the sewer line is underneath the pavement. And he had some pretty deep cuts out there, 14, 15 feet deep. Well, if you put sewer line under pavement, you have to put structural backfill in, and that's expensive. So he asked if he could move the sewer kind of under the sidewalk, under the tree lawn, and in some cases, actually, it's in people's front yards. And we said, yeah, we'll work with you on that. And that saved him a lot of money because you don't have to put the structural backfill under the yard part. The other thing we worked with him on was, in order to save time, there were some delays in some of the utilities responding and doing their work. So they put sleeves in under the road, and then later Duke Energy came through and snaked their electric lines under the road, so they didn't have to wait for Duke to get their stuff in underground prior to getting the road in, so that saved them some time. We were willing to work with them on that. And they ended up putting sleeves in for the water lines, the electric and communications. And so by doing that, they didn't have to wait on those other utilities. He could keep moving forward with road construction and things like that. And we're looking at it as, you know, that could maybe be something we, you know, just put on the table from now on, because, you know, for example, if we have a water line go bad, get a leak under the road, with the sleeve in there, we can just slip the water line out and not have to tear up the road. So it saves our guys some aggravation as well. So,
And our road.
yeah, there's not, I don't know that there's one answer unless, you know, we were able to actually write a check, then, you know, but I'm not sure that's necessarily the,
I don't know if I'd want,
I don't
what
think
is
that's
this?
yeah, we would probably get a little hot
Which one
water.
did you say it was a sewer line that actually is gonna go through people's front yard?
And there are other places in town where we have sewer lines in easements in yards.
I have one in my front yard, yeah.
Okay, I guess mine's not, that's why.
Most of it is, you know, in the right of way, but there's a few places to, you know, get around certain things that may be in somebody's front yard.
We're built out a lot. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of places in the city.
I know.
We're probably going to have to start annexing if we want to grow,
And
which the legislature's made that harder and harder,
Yeah.
harder to do.
And the other thing is, you have to have a cooperative landowner that is willing to sell their property at a price that is such that it can be developed, you know, so.
I think that putting our utilities, the water and sewer lines, if you can keep them out from underneath the road when they have to be replaced or
Yeah.
fixed or whatever, that is huge if we don't have to tear up a road. You don't really like tearing up a sidewalk, but that's easily replaced, I think, and not nearly as patched, I guess. And we don't like tearing up somebody's front yard, but still, it's easy to reseed and go back and I mean, the article that Eric wrote in the paper about, you know, the Indianapolis Road, remembering, I mean, there's all sorts of projects, you know, out here, Franklin Street's got cuts all over it, and this, it was shortly after when we upgraded and paved it, you know, and all of a sudden we're cutting into it. So hate to see those cuts.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm sure. Yeah.
They were doing that on Berry Street today.
Yeah. And we regularly notify the underground utilities that, you know, we're gonna be doing paving projects. Here's the streets we're gonna be paving, here's the sections. The one Anderson Street that Eric mentioned in his thing, we had gotten clearance from one arm of Vectren. They said everything's fine. And then another person came out and said, well, and my question was, well, why didn't you guys fix these before we notified you? Oh, well, that's a different part of the company. And I'm going, oh my God, you know?
Yeah.
So we try our best to do that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
so, okay, we
You have a motion.
have a motion to approve Resolution 2019-12.
I will second the motion.
So we have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2019-12 as presented. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, please signify your approval by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or nays or abstentions? Hearing none, the Resolution 2019-12 passes. And here's a couple of signature ones to come around. Okay, next item of business is Resolution 2019-13, a resolution outlining City of Greencastle elected officials and employee benefits for 2020. Guess I'll read this whole thing. A resolution outlining City of Greencastle elected official and employee benefits. Whereas the City of Greencastle believes that its employees are its greatest asset and provides a complete compensation plan, which includes not only salaries but a range of benefits. Whereas a list of those benefits available to elected officials and employees is listed below, along with a brief description of the benefits and eligibility requirements. And whereas additional details about all benefits may be obtained by contacting the Clerk Treasurer's Office, now therefore be it resolved by the Greencastle City Council that the City of Greencastle offers the following benefits to its elected officials and employees beginning January 1st, 2020. Health insurance, insurance offered to all full-time employees. Insurance is effective on the first day of employment. Insurance terminates the last day of employment. 90% of premium paid by City of Greencastle, 10% of premium paid by employees through payroll deduction. Health savings account. City of Greencastle contributes a maximum of $736 per year to all full-time employees who are enrolled in the City of Greencastle health insurance plan. Contributions are made through two semi-annual payments of $368 payable in January and July. Health savings accounts are managed through Teachers Credit Union or First National Bank. Life insurance. City of Greencastle provides a basic life and accidental death and disability policy for all full-time employees. City of Greencastle pays 100% of the life insurance premium. Life insurance is effective on the first day of employment. Life insurance terminates on the last day of employment. Life insurance is $25,000 but is reduced pursuant to the age reduction schedule below. Reduced by 35% at age 65 or $16,250 payout, 50% at age 70 at $12,500 payout, 65% at age 75, $8,750 payout. Short-term, long-term disability. Short-term disability. City of Greencastle provides a short-term disability plan for all its full-time employees. City of Greencastle pays 100% of short-term disability premium. Short-term disability is effective on the first day of employment. Short-term disability is terminated on the last day of employment. There's a cash benefit of 66.67% of employees' weekly salary up to $1,000 when the employee is out of work for up to 9 weeks due to injury, illness, surgery, or recovery from childbirth. Sickness, accidental elimination period. Employee must be out of work 30 days due to an illness before they can collect disability benefits. Employee can begin collecting benefits on day 31. Benefit integration. Short-term disability benefits can coordinate with income from other sources, such as continued income or sick pay from your employer during your disability, thus allowing the employee to receive up to 100% of the pre-disability income. Long-term disability. City of Greencastle provides long-term disability plan for all full-time employees. City of Greencastle pays 100% of the long-term disability premium. Long-term disability is effective on the first day of employment. Long-term disability is terminated on the last day of employment. Cash benefit, 66.67% of the employee's monthly salary, up to $4,500, starting 90 days after the employee is out of work and continuing up to age 65 or maximum benefit period schedule provided in the plan documents. Employee Connect Services, Employee Assistance Program, services which give the employee and family confidential access to counselors as well as limited personal, legal, and financial services. Strictly confidential, no charge to the employee, available to the employee and dependents 24/7, unlimited phone access for legal services, financial services, work-life services, in-person help with short-term issues, up to 4 sessions per person per issue per year, ComPsych, family, parenting, addictions, emotional, legal, financial, relationships, and stress. Leave policies. City offers the following leave to its full-time employees. Specific leave provisions are set in the City of Greencastle's employee manual and include vacation, sick, personal, bereavement, Family and Medical Leave Act, military, jury duty, witness, full-time or part-time employees, sick bank, and holiday. Indiana Public Retirement System, INPERS. Full-time eligible employees are covered by the Indiana Public Retirement System. The benefits, costs, and administration are determined by INPERS. Current contributions are as follows. Civil employees, the city contribution is 11.2% of salary. Employee elected official contribution is 3% of salary. 77 fund employees, city contribution is 17.5% of a first officer's certified salary. Employee contribution is 6% of a first officer's certified salary. Be it further resolved that the above benefits may change from time to time based upon availability, cost, and changes to carrier contracts and state and federal laws, rules, and policies. Passed and resolved by the Common Council of the City of Greencastle at its regular meeting this 12th day of December 2019 with appropriate signature lines. I'll gladly give the floor to Linda if anyone has any questions.
So basically, you guys have approved this before for 19 benefits. I will make a point out that the last time we did this, on the bullet point under long-term disabilities, it was not clear how employees after age 65 were given disability, long-term disability. There is a maximum benefit period schedule provided in our document plan. So for instance, if somebody is working for the city and they get disabled, they will be able to get that for like another so many months, like 48 months. But it's all spelled out at the age that you are. If you become disabled and you're working for the city, you will receive those payments for X amount of months. So it kind of cleans that up a little bit. And there is a schedule that spells that out in great detail.
As I recall a previous conversation, the benefits are prorated if you haven't been on the staff for a full year, is that right? If I come in July 1, I get 6 months of the benefits?
Well, if you come in July 1, you'll start certain benefits that first day.
Is that our fiscal year, July 1?
No, January 1. But if you're a new employee and you come in, you will receive your insurance the first day, your short-term disability,
Sure.
the only thing that gets prorated is your health savings account.
That's what I thought.
And one of the reasons we had to change this ordinance is we did change the amount of health savings account.
You know, we're worried about salaries, and we all are. But when I look at, in this day and age, 90% of the health insurance premiums being paid by the city, 100% of the life insurance, health savings account contributions, 100% of short-term disability, 100% of long-term disability.
And day one, I don't know anybody that gets covered day one. That's the part that jumped out at me.
And-
Usually you have to wait 90 days before you are eligible.
60 days, 90 days.
That is why, considering all these benefits last month, whenever we were talking about having another firm to compare what we offer versus what other cities offer, I think our benefit package comes into play, that maybe we don't offer the salaries somebody else does, but our benefit package has got to be as good as anybody. That's the way I look at it.
Would you agree,
Most-
Linda?
Most cities are pretty comparable to ours.
Okay.
They have about as many days off. Most cities do pay, I mean, some cities pay $1.
90%.
That's, yeah, some employees only pay $1 a month for their insurance.
Wow. In this
That's
day and
not
age, that's
uncommon.
amazing.
Yeah,
And we have pretty
So-
high deductible.
yeah. But I mean, our insurance is pretty good. We do have a pretty sizable deductible. I mean, it's,
Everybody does now.
everybody does. That's just the way of the world. But yes, very few cities, make their employees pay much more than 10%. So I mean, that's pretty common across the board for cities,
Wow.
so.
The, on the perf, it says city contribution 11.2% of salary.
Yep.
Do I have to put my 3% in to get it, or is the city doing that
Nope,
for employees?
sorry.
Not full-time.
You're not full-time.
No, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the eligible employees. We're putting 11.2% into retirement for them
Yeah, and
every year.
that's state statute. That's what we have to pay.
Wow.
Even if they don't
What-
contribute 3? Or do they have to do the 3?
No, they're required to do
They're
it.
required to do 3.
They have to do 3, and we do the 11.2.
And the police and fire, we're putting in,
We do on normal employees, but we don't pay social security on police and fire.
but we're putting 17.5% in
Yes,
for
we're
police
making up for
and
it there.
fire. Wow.
Yeah,
Captains, isn't it?
of the captain's pay.
Yeah,
So every police officer is paid exactly the same amount
yeah.
into perf,
The perf.
so.
Yeah, I'm glad the 77 fund employees are police and fire. That was
Correct.
not clear when it was read, so. So is there any way we can work into the leave policies that Brad will come pick you up at the curb? Sorry,
I know,
not
there-
really, but
I know this wasn't any quick assent to your comment.
another benefit we offer.
We need a motion?
We do,
I'll make a
we
motion.
Motion and second.
have a
Pass
motion from Stacy.
resolution 2019-13.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second for the resolution. Any further questions or discussion? Hearing none, please signify your approval by saying aye.
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 Any nays or any abstentions? Motion passes. So I likewise would like to thank Steve for his service to the community, and you're okay. It's certainly been a pleasure, and I appreciate the fact that Steve didn't hesitate, you know, when there was a question or something, he'd call in and either speak to myself or Linda or Lori or one of our department heads, and so appreciate that, and you know, you're always welcome to join us and harass us from the audience moving forward. We'll welcome that. So I'll turn the floor over to Steve, because he did request if he could say a few words here at the end and close the meeting for us.
I want to, first of all, thank every member of the city council here. I got to go back. I got to thank Sue Murray, too. To start with, it was her idea that I run for city council. And at times I sat here thinking, Sue, what did you get me into? But anyway, but tonight culminates another goal that I had to set for myself 2 years ago. For those who don't know, I've been in a cancer battle for 2 years, and I beat what the doctors said I'd beat. I'm here. So anyway, tonight I close my service to the city. I'm bowing out of everything. I am pretty much to the point to where this 2-hour meeting is, or any 2 hours, is going to exhaust me. And so anyway, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank the 3rd Ward for trusting me for 4 years. I want to thank my wife, because I thought seriously about resigning whenever I was told what I was told. But thank you for allowing me to serve you, Greencastle. And with that, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye, and let's applaud Steve.
One final thing, you gotta sign this.
Yeah.
Linda,
Your
no,
autograph.
Linda, no special meetings.
Special meetings the
There are no
next 2
special
weeks.
meetings.
We'll just do that all over again.
Yeah, we get.
Wouldn't that be kicker?